It's Wednesday, the 29th of May, 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories, 5 minutes. Let's go. Story number 1, retail sales have fallen to their lowest level in 2 years when measured on a per capita basis, highlighting just how tough it is for households and many businesses who are struggling, obviously, with high interest rates and overwhelming, I'm going to say, Sean, cost of living pressures.
Retail turnover rose 0.1% in April, following a 0.4% fall in March. For the year, sales were up just 1.3%. But if you include the impact of all the people that have come into the country, net migration, then per capita sales went backwards. The ABS said consumers are reducing discretionary spending, and the biggest falls came in clothing, footwear and personal accessories. The Bureau said looking over the last couple of months, there's weak underlying spending across all of retail. The stories that emerged in recent months is that younger Australians are cutting back sharply, older Australians are still spending. In large part, this is about the cost of housing, rents, mortgages. That's hitting younger Australians harder. Not really a surprise. Higher interest rates are supposed to slow spending, and the Reserve Bank has noted that it's the household sector that's suffering most. That's cold comfort, though, for people out there trying to pay rent or insurance bills. The X factor about to hit the economy is the Stage 3 tax cuts, which kick in from July 1. What will people do with the extra money?
Sean, we talk plenty about how hard it is for households, how hard it is for consumers, but this is hurting business as well.
Sure is. We've had a run of consumer-facing brands downgrade their earnings outlook over the past fortnight. Yesterday, it was the turn of car dealer Peter Warren Automotive. The group operates in 80 locations. Sells makes including Toyota, Mazda, Volkswagen and Mercedes. It just basically said customer demand for new vehicles is falling sharply. Other companies to downgrade recently or warn of lower value consumer purchases include Babcorp, which owns Autobarn, Burson and Midas, Baby Bunting, Endeavour Group, owns Dan Murphy's, Coles, Wesfarmers, which of course owns Bunnings, JB Hi-Fi, Super Retail, Temple and Webster. Tough times out there, Michael.
Yeah, certainly is. Story number 2, Sean. Industry Minister Ed Husic has called for a lower corporate tax rate, either by cutting it or through other incentives, such as, say, an investment allowance.
It's significant that a Labor minister is advocating change, given that in opposition, the party has generally fought against lower taxes for companies. In 2018, the Turnbull government tried to cut the corporate tax rate to 25% for all companies, not just small business, but it failed. The current rate is 30%. Mr. Husic said given wages are rising, it would be politically easier to make the change today than pre-pandemic. He said businesses need to be able to invest and free up capital, and a lower tax rate could do that. Now, in the recent budget, Treasury Jim Chalmers opted for production tax credits for critical minerals and hydrogen. There was also an extension of the instant asset write-off for small businesses, but no broader corporate tax relief.
Story number 3, a couple of high-profile companies are in the middle of sexual harassment scandals, with both Nine Entertainment and Country Road Group fighting some pretty shocking allegations.
In the Nine case, former news director Darren Wick allegedly sexually harassed a number of women at Nine. He stepped down from the role in March this year, but according to media reports, received a $1 million plus payout when he left. Nine newspapers then reported that the publicity chief of Stan, a Nine subsidiary, left the business weeks after an investigation into allegations of inappropriate workplace conduct. At Country Road Group, 2 highly placed executives have left, and the global boss is flying to Australia to address staff to announce an external investigation into the handling of complaints at the retailer's Melbourne headquarters. According to the Australian, staff have complained of feeling unsafe.
Story number 4, Commonwealth Bank Chief Executive Matt Comyn says artificial intelligence will reshape the workforce over the medium and longer term, but he's downplayed its benefits for the lender in the short term.
Mr. Comyn, speaking at an AFR conference, pointed to comparisons of artificial intelligence with advances made during the agricultural and industrial revolutions. While there will be reshaping of businesses over the medium and long terms, it isn't clear exactly what skills are needed right now to help with the change. He said it's important to distinguish between the hype today and pragmatism around the future, saying you don't go from a horse and buggy straight to a Tesla. Mr. Comyn said Commonwealth Bank was using generative AI to improve the customer experience, adding that it's being used in an assistant capacity, but that overall the uses are relatively small in the grand scheme of things.
Last one, story number 5, more people are using local petrol stations or convenience stores to stock up on fresh food and snacks and groceries, and it's eating into the supermarket sector.
That's according to a new report by the Australian Association of Convenience Stores. Fast, convenient and fresh food sales are rising, although tobacco sales, a critical item at surveys, are dropping. Australia's convenience stores, led by brands such as 7-Eleven, Ampol, BP and Coles Express, recorded a 3.1% rise in sales last year, including a 12.6% jump in food and beverages, well and truly outstripping the big supermarkets. The total number of convenience retail outlets grew by about 1.5% last year to 7,357 stores. Food is now a much bigger seller than petrol. Food and beverage was $6 billion worth of sales. Non-food, such as fuel and tobacco, was just $4.3 billion.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Wednesday, the 29th of May, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts. And out every Wednesday is the new episode of How Do They Afford That, our sister podcast all about making your money work a bit harder for you. I'll put a link in today's show notes. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.